Good morning and welcome to Peace Out, where we are all learning together to peace out. I hope you have had a good week. I hope you have some plans for the weekend. If you live in the central part of the U.S., the cold Arctic air should be moving out and we can go back to life as usual. Back to our normal hectic lives, right? Rather than the additional help we didn't really need to be hectic, right? So hopefully it'll be over. If you're on further east, I'm really sorry it's not quite over. It's just getting to you, right? I saw there were some friends online were having the same issues we were having. This the ice and snow and stuff moved off to the east. Hopefully it's spring. There's always hope, right? Hope for new life, hope for new hope, hope for new joy, hope for new peace, all of those things every single day. Okay, so I was going to talk about the scripture I talked about yesterday again today. So I was thinking about it from a kind of a different perspective. And actually where I got there was this. I was thinking about the word slammed, and that's in the New American Standard where it said the storm came and slammed, the wind slammed against the house. And I was like, I feel slammed against right now. There's just so many things, right? So many different things just coming and just like waves and trying to knock me over, trying to do all, it feels that way, right? Life can feel that way sometimes. There's so many different things. It's just like, can I even catch a breath sometimes? So I was thinking about that, and I was thinking, and I'm just going to take you down my thought processes here, okay? So I thought both houses were built, and they were probably well built. It was what they did before the storm that determined whether they lasted through the storm or not, right? The one house, the wise man built his house on a solid rock foundation. The other dude built his house on the sand, and there was nothing to hold it up when the winds came and the waves came, when it got slammed, right? The other one endured because of what he did before he built his house. So I was thinking about that, and then I thought of another scripture. It's in 1 Corinthians 3, and it talks about fire. So it's not a storm, it's a fire. And it says that, first it says in 1 Corinthians 3:11, it says that our foundation is Christ. Everything we build in our life has to be built on Christ and the Word, because Jesus is the Word, right? So everything we build in our life has to be on the Word. We need that solid foundation, right? And so then it says, so we have that foundation. Then it says, if anyone builds on that foundation with gold, silver, precious stones, wood, hay, straw, each person's work will become evident, because the day will show it as it is revealed by fire, and the fire will test the quality of each man's work, each person's work. If any person's work which he has built on this foundation of Christ remains, he receives a reward. If any man's work is burned up, he suffered loss, but he is still saved. So if we don't build right, we're still saved. God doesn't say, you didn't do this right, you didn't quote that scripture right, you didn't quote the right scripture, you didn't hold on to the right scripture, so you're not even saved anymore. Let's just cast you aside. No, it's like if we don't build right, the penalty is we lose what we built, but what God builds can't be taken away by fire. It can't be taken away by a storm. It can't be taken away by the wind. But the key is this. We want to build before the storm comes. We want to build before the fire comes. And here's a real life analogy I thought of. I live in Oklahoma, and this central part here, Oklahoma, Kansas, I think Nebraska is kind of the tornado alley here. I mean, others are having lots of tornadoes too, but this kind of tornado alley is kind of moving over the years. But I can't go out in the middle of the storm and try to build a cellar. I can't wait till the tornado sirens go off and run out. I do run outside when they go off so I can see if there's anything good coming. But I can't wait till the sirens go off and then go out and try to build a cellar or find a cellar even. I need to know where it is. I need to be prepared before the storm comes. So here's it's not even a shameless plug, but here's my plug for studying the Word and memorizing scriptures, hiding it in our heart, like David said, so that we don't sin against God. For building on, my plug for using the Word to build on that foundation, we got to get up every morning and just go, I'm going to trust God today. When we build on the foundation of Christ, we build on the foundation of the Word, we can make it through that day, every single day, with our faith intact, with our spiritual house intact. But we can't wait till the storm comes to get to understand what God gave us. We need to know He already gave us peace. Then when the storm comes, we go, you didn't take it back. I still have peace. But I know I have peace because I knew before the storm came that I had peace. So that in the storm, I know I still have peace. And after the storm, I'm still standing because I know He still gave me peace. And it's the same for grace. It's the same for mercy. What we build, so to speak, with our lives, I guess is the best way to say it. What we build with our lives is going to get hit by the storm. Our lives are going to go through stormy stuff, right? There's going to be wind, there's going to be rain. It didn't say, if there's a storm arises. It says when the storm came, this dude's house stood. I want my house to stand. I want this my soul part of my house, my being, to stand. And that means getting in the Word, memorizing the Word, learning what did God give us in this? What did He? Because David understood the peace that we talk about. Even in the Old Testament, he understood so much more about forgiveness. Even in the Old Testament, he understood that God had given grace, that God gave mercy. And even, what was it Micah said? What do we need? I'm just looking at it because Micah even said, it's not so much about the sacrifices as much as it is about just serving God, right? He says, what does God require? Does He require rivers of oil? Does He require all these different sacrifices? He says, no, actually, it says this. What does He require? He requires us to do justice, to love mercy, and to walk humbly with God. And when we learn to do justice, to live fairly, right, to love mercy, and walk with God, when the winds come, our house will stand. When the fire comes, our house will stand. When we feel slammed, like that was the term I was thinking about this one. I just feel slammed too. And I got through with the devotion yesterday. I was like, no, this is just, I'm still being slammed by winds and fire and floods, right? Just figuratively, right? And I'm like, when we feel slammed and we already know these scriptures, we have something to work with through the storm. Right? When we know these scriptures, we know that we have peace, we have something to rely on in the middle of the fire, in the middle of being slammed, in the middle of being tried, in the middle of the floods, in the middle of fill in the blank with whatever you're feeling right now. It's so important to get into the Word and understand what God has done for us, because that's how we make it through the storm. That's how we make it through the troubled times of life. Because troubles, that's not optional. We're gonna have troubles. We don't get to push a "don't give me any troubles today" button. Boy, it's a good idea though, God, right? I don't need anything else today button would be perfect, right? But no, we don't have that option. Our option is to make sure we have that. We are standing on a solid foundation, that we are trusting God, and we know that on the other side of the storm, He's still gonna be with us. And He's gonna be our shelter in the middle of the storm. He didn't say, no, God is our refuge and our strength, a present help in the time of need. He didn't say, if you ever find yourself in a hard spot, He might be there. No, He also didn't say, if hard times come, if the wind blows, if this. No, He says, I got you. But we want to know Him before we get into those circumstances and before life starts just railing on us, right? It starts raining on us and starts shoving us and slamming us from side to side. When we know we've got that anchor of hope in God and we know the Word, we're going to make it through and we're still going to be standing. The man that built a foundation on a rock, which is Jesus, symbolic of Jesus, his house stood. The person of what we're talking about here, I lost it, in Corinthians, he built his house on the rock of Jesus, and when the fire came, his house still stood. It didn't. His house was made. It showed what his house was made of, and that's what trials do. Trials tell us: are we really trusting God? We get up wringing our hands. I did this morning. I was like, oh my gosh, I'm not going to do this and this and this. God, I feel like I'm being slammed. And plain as day, the scripture came to mind that said, you can ask for wisdom, because I was like, I don't know what to do. And he goes, well, you can ask for wisdom. I was like, oh yeah, that's a scripture I know, right? But I can't learn that scripture. If I didn't know that scripture before, I wouldn't know now when I'm in this situation that I could ask. So this is my plug for get in there, learn the Word, talk to God, tell Him him everything. You can tell him things that are huge in your life and the little bitty things in your life. He just wants to hear from you. He just wants to walk with you through whatever you're walking through. He wants to be your companion in time. This journey we call life. He's in it for the long haul. And so we can talk to him. We can understand him more. You don't wait till the storm comes to learn that he is your refuge. Know he's your refuge. Then when the storm comes, oh, I can hide in God. God's got me because he's had me all along, right? We can trust him for one more day because he's got us. Have a great day. Have a great weekend. Peace out. See you bright early Monday morning.